In 1990, one of the greatest comic book adaptations ever made burst onto the big screen. Warren Beatty's Dick Tracy. With its star-studded cast, bold colours, unforgettable villains, and a tidal wave of merchandise, this film became a short-lived but powerful cultural phenomenon. Now, more than 30 years later, this podcast is here to explore, unpack, and dissect this brightly coloured masterpiece, week by week, scene by scene. So pull up a chair at the Southside Warehouse, because there's going to be a big payoff.
Hello and welcome to Talking Dick, the Dick Tracy movie podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Simon Creswell, and joining me is Mr.
James Tilling.
James, why are you laughing?
You seem to have...
We are talking this week about makeup, so I went the extra mile, and I just wanted to show you how hard it is to keep prosthetics on, basically, because as you can see, I'm wearing a variety for this podcast today, and they're not staying on, are they?
No, they're not. I mean, I didn't know that was you. I was just like, who's boycotted this podcast?
It is me.
Oh, it's you. It was you all along.
I quite like the hat, actually. I'm tempted to leave the hat on, but I'll take the rest off. For anyone listening on Spotify, I just basically am wearing some cheap fancy dress, bits of nose and makeup and ear. But I think that's how the guys doing the makeup of Dick Tracy would have started, perhaps, you know?
I'm sure, start small and work out to little face, probably.
Down the joke shop.
Yeah.
Not quite working and tasting very rubbery, some of that.
Yeah, I bet.
Let's move on. How are you, James?
Yes, I'm all good, thank you very much.
Busy week, looking into our makeup connoisseurs from the Dick Tracy movie.
Yeah, it has been another good week looking up, checking out the makeup guys. Funny enough, also noticed off the back of our last week's episode on the Oscars, actually recording it today is it was actually when the 91 BAFTAs aired on the 17th of March, 1991. And obviously our two makeup artists won a BAFTA, as we said, for that. So, quite fitting that, doing it on the anniversary of their BAFTA win.
I recently watched the Oscars. When we were recording this, the Oscars have just happened. And every time an award came up, I was thinking, is Dick Tracy going to be nominated? Oh, no, I'm 35 years too late. It was there in my mind. Yeah. Off the back of that, someone said that Dick Tracy held the record for the comic book movie with the most nominations for around 25 years until Black Panther.
Wow.
Apparently.
No way.
Yeah. Apparently no other comic book film had got nominated as many times as Dick Tracy. And I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, I could. If you're thinking comic book films normally got nominated for visual effects, don't they? Or, I don't know, maybe sound or something random. What other films have come along that have been in that at that level, you know? So,
God, yeah, is there a more credit to the film, isn't it?
Yeah, but someone somewhere said it on a
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely believe that.
Yeah. Speaking of feedback, before we start and get going on the makeup, we've had some comments on our YouTube channels, and I just wanted to give a shout out to one person who's been commenting on all our videos, and we really do appreciate the feedback. Moonshine Films. So he's had a few comments. One of them, he said, tell me when you're selling the T-shirts. James, any plans for us to sell T-shirts?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think there was a demand, but if there is, I'll get the team on it, which is just me.
Would they say talking on the front and then Dick on the back?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Might not sell well.
No.
He also commented and said that he really liked the action figure episode, and he can't wait for part 2, which is should have probably been up by now. He said, I was like you when I was little. The distribution was weird because I never saw guys like Itchy, The Brow or Mumbles in hand until I was an adult collector. The demand was crazy around here too, and shelves completely cleaned out, and my mum ended up getting me the ones she could get from Sears catalogue that Christmas. So I'm guessing that person who commented was in the States. But yeah, just saying that they couldn't get them as a kid, which was our problem, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're right. It's quite nice to know that it wasn't just this side of the pond that it was difficult to get them. That even in the States it was tough as well.
Yeah, when he mentioned never saw guys like Itchy, which is interesting because I always think Itchy's a common one, but there's this. Then that was Captain Bender, by the way, on YouTube. Hopefully a Futurama reference. I'm laughing at some of the YouTube names, and I don't know why, but Jedi Yoda Bush 86 writes. I mean, are these real people?
Great names.
Great podcast. What is the background behind those the loose figures? Is it custom? I think he's referring to the picture on the video.
Oh, right. Yeah.
James, that was some AI special from you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. The best of my AI taking the pictures that you took of the figures and getting AI to put them together. But those are the actual figures in that picture. So
yeah. We'll comment back to that. But so some comments and we've had a lot of love on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. So thank you for everyone that's got in touch. We're obviously a new podcast, but we want to grow the Dick Tracy community.
Absolutely.
Keep talking Dick. We should get a badge.
Yeah, yeah we should. Yeah, maybe that's where we start. We'll start with badges and work our way to T-shirts.
Vote Dick. James, on to the makeup. So I hear you have got a little intro for us on these two connoisseurs of makeup for the film Dick Tracy.
So when people talk about Dick Tracy, they usually mention the colours, the sets, or Madonna and Pacino chewing the scenery. But one of the most important reasons the film looks the way it does is its makeup. Specifically, the prosthetic character makeup that turns almost the entire rogues gallery into living comic strip caricatures. The makeup of Dick Tracy wasn't just good, it was Oscar-winning, and it completely defines the film's visual identity. The film's makeup was led by John Caglione Jr. and Doug Drexler, two artists that trained by the legendary makeup pioneer Dick Smith, the same man responsible for films like The Exorcist and Amadeus. Warren Beatty hired the two guys and he gave them one problem to solve. He said, how do you make Chester Gould's grotesque comic book villains work in live action without turning the film into a parody or a horror? And I think that both those guys did exactly that.
They did. And Dick Smith, I think he died around 10 years ago, but, absolute legend. But there's kind of like two or three makeup names, aren't there? Rick Baker, who did like Thriller and that, and then Dick Smith. And these guys, I think are lesser known. Have they been consistently working since Dick Tracy? I mean, I don't know who you want to start with. Perhaps we should talk about them separately.
Yeah, so I'll start off. Doug Drexler, who was one of the makeup artists. So since he finished that, he did loads of Star Trek films. Basically, nearly all, from what I could see, of all the Next Generation Star Trek movies with like Picard and Riker, he did the makeup on all of those movies. And maybe, I guess it's like a thing that, I think a lot of times in the movies, a lot of everyone who's working behind the scenes, once they work with someone they get on well with and they have a good rapport with, they get him onto the next project, the next one, and it kind of keeps going. So that's his kind of like most of his work since he's finished. Then John Caglione Jr., he's done some other big films since he did The Dark Knight. He did The Departed.
So when he did The Dark Knight, is he responsible for Heath Ledger's makeup? It sounds obvious, but I don't know.
Yeah. So he was, I guess, like the lead makeup artist on that. So he would have been a key component of it. And also kind of like slightly lesser films, like he's done, let's say not lesser film, but lesser films known for their makeup, like The Departed, and also in TV he did The Sopranos. So yeah, interesting that the gangster link there. You wonder if, like, when he put his CV down, he was like, "I've done pretty good gangster films. Dick Tracy, here it is," and he just got the job immediately. You've
given me a thought. Imagine The Sopranos, but everyo's got prosthetics. They're all. It's like a Dick Tracy universe, but they're all. Yeah. That would just be amazing.
But one of John Caglioni's first films he did, I think it was his second film that he did, was Friday the 13th Part 2.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. So he started like a lot of, filmmakers in the horror region. Obviously, I guess the makeup world has probably opened a little more for those kind of horror movies, but that's where he worked and carried on.
Because Part 2 is the one where you see Jason for the first time and he has a bag over his head and then when he takes it off, he's like hideous. So the hockey mask doesn't come in until part 3, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't realise that. Yeah, so
he would have designed Jason's kind of hideous face, I assume. Yeah, that's cool.
So a big proportion of John's work since Dick Tracy has also been doing every single Al Pacino movie. So
wow.
I'm sure we'll get into it when we get into the big boy part. But they did work very closely together, and I think they just got on so well. And since then, he has been Al Pacino's go-to makeup guy and has done makeup on all of his movies since then.
There's some good behind-the-scenes pictures of Al Pacino as well online. If you look up Al Pacino and Dick Tracy, someone's kind of going through the process of the makeup on the chair. There's like 6 pictures together. We'll have to try and share it. But they obviously documented that quite well. But that's amazing that he's still working with Al. I'm trying to think of some Al Pacino performances, though, after that, where he wore prosthetics and makeup.
Yeah.
Devil's Advocate, where he plays the devil, maybe, I don't know, can't remember. I can't think of anything where he's got kind of like...
But I think what it is that you look at, I mean, I guess the Star Trek ones would probably have been quite a lot of prosthetics to do. But, I mean, it must have been a real dream for these two guys to have got the gig of Dick Tracy, just to have, so much to play with.
Yeah, and I got a little story about when they met Warren Beatty. In the amazing book, The Making of Dick Tracy, it says, "We waited for 45 minutes in the screening room in his home," remembered Drexler, "and he came bounding down the stairs, soaking wet in a towel, and says, 'What can we do?' And we said, 'You mean about the makeup?' And he said, 'The story, the script, what can we do to make it better?' And this blew our minds. We had never been asked that question before by a director or producer or anything. Nobody usually cared. We spent most of the time talking about the script, what we thought could make it better, and what we found interesting." So he went straight in with these two guys and treated them like part of the crew. And they go on to say that they're at meetings and they're involved in the process from day one.
I think with this is that what Warren wanted, he wanted the story to be told visually as well. So, like, you remember the characters straight away and you judge them straight away because of how they looked. And I think that's what he obviously wanted from them. It wasn't just to make them look like this. They've got to tell a story. So, especially like the villains at the start of the film and how they look, it's so important to get that across.
Yeah. They actually say in this book that they picked actors that they thought resembled the characters. Oh. So he says here, Beatty told them if they were any of Gould's ghoulies in particular that they would like to create, they should feel free. The name in the script would simply be replaced. So basically pick someone you like to make.
Oh,
and
wow.
then what they did was they got lots of character actors, and basically that guy looks a bit like Pruneface, poor guy. And then they invited him on to try on the prosthetics.
Oh, wow.
So they said, for example, we thought Edo Ross had some of Itchy in his facial structure already. So we thought that he was perfect for Itchy. Archie Armstrong, who plays Pruneface, the minute we saw him, we thought we could give him 70% more of what he already had, which I guess is wrinkles. Neil Summers, who played the rodent, Neil was kind of on his way to being the rodent anyway. We couldn't pass him up.
So this is when they find out the rodent was easy. We didn't have to do anything. That is actually how he looks.
That's how that poor guy looks. And they said with Bill Forsyth, there was something in the eyes that suggested flat top. So, I mean, that's a really interesting way of doing a movie. Wow. It's not like we've got this actor, we've got to make him the rodent. No, let's go find someone that looks a bit like the rodent.
Yeah.
Basically, anyone could have got a part in Dick Tracy. As long as you're a little bit of an actor.
You're right. He let Doug and John create the characters. You create them. And then I'll just put them in my story. You just do it.
Yeah.
So
I wonder what the list of characters they had was. Perhaps there was even more. I mean, I don't know the Dick Tracy well, but obviously there must be a lot more characters that aren't in this film. Be interesting to know which ones didn't make it.
Yeah. But it's like it made me think as well when going back and doing a bit of research and watching this. It's like the makeup, I generally does not affect the performances. I think probably Pruneface is the one that seems the most affected, like with R.G. Armstrong. But again,
he is speaking like this. He can't speak.
Yeah, but everyone else, it doesn't. It enhances their performances. I don't think it doesn't feel hindered at all.
Yeah. They add that they had to split the difference between reality and fantasy to get the look they wanted. So I think what they're trying to say is if you go too far, your cartoon, you know, like Bo Selector or something. But if you don't go far enough, you look too much like you're trying to be a serious gangster film.
Yes.
That's such a difficult balance, isn't it? To get
Yeah.
those characters, because you don't look at Flat Top and laugh. You look at him and think, "Oh right, he's really evil. Yeah, he's a bad guy."
Yeah.
But one false move, one wrong nose.
Yeah, you're right. I think we've mentioned this others before. I think that the Littleface, albeit such a small character in the grand scheme of things, he was probably the one misstep. It didn't quite work.
With the coffee table
others, yeah, exactly. All the rest, I mean, come across so well. And again, we'll say probably go more into Big Boy, but there's that bit that I read that Al Pacino said that having all that extra prosthetics, it felt that his performance had to match it. The performance, that's all over the top caricature. I've got to go even further. I mean, you couldn't pick a better over the top actor than Al Pacino, couldn't you? Really, anyway. So it's like again made for him.
Yeah, they're literally the perfect part. There's some videos online, some Instagram videos which we can share. And is that Caglione in those videos?
Yes, yeah, that is Joe Caglione. Yeah.
And then what does he say in those? Because it's a modern video. It's shot like last year. It's on Instagram, and he holds up some masks and stuff. And what does he say about Big Boy in that?
Yeah, so he says like with that he took a complete face cast of his face, and then they obviously then made the prosthetic nose, the chin, and obviously added them to this mask, and they worked really closely with John did with Al Pacino, so they could both come up with the solution together. But Al Pacino said that he wanted a cross between Adolf Hitler and Groucho Marx. So you go back to fine balances again. Like if it went a bit too far to the right,
well, yeah, Hitler got his tash from Charlie Chaplin, so it's kind of like it's all gone full circle, you know.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, short and angry man with a moustache, essentially.
Yeah,
was the was what they were after there. So the process. What did you learn about the process for this makeup and how they did it? In your research this week?
Yeah, well, the bit that, it obviously took a long time. I think it was something like 3 hours each day to put the makeup on, which is like pretty crazy. Like, you know, it's like nearly half a working day already, but before you've even started.
Yeah, it says here they're getting up at 3 a.m., hours before anyone else gets to the set. It said the appliances have to be laid onto the actor's face perfectly. You can't miss. If you lay it down a little bit too far to the left, when he smiles, you're going to get wrinkles running across the face in an unnatural way. So they've got to apply them exactly as they need to go on. And I mean, they talk about, I don't know if you want me to share it, but they talk a bit about the process in this book. And there's some good photos, which I'll share. So the first part, number one, they sketch the characters. They sketch the faces. As to how they're going to look. Number two, they sculpt like a head. There is a picture, it's going to make you laugh, but there is a picture of one of their sculpts in this book.
Oh, wow.
And that's a picture of holding up of Influence. Yeah. So they obviously start with that, which looks ridiculous, and then work around that. So once they've got the sketches and the sculpture, they then get the actors to sit in the chair and put a bald cap on them and block out their hair. Then they take prosthetic impression material. It's the same stuff the dentists use to take impressions inside your mouth. So they put it over your face. I think it's called alginate. And we mix it, get it ready, and they pour the plaster on. And then they've obviously got a mask then, like almost like a death mask of the character's face. And then they start doing the latex on the face bit by bit, but they're not reusable. Those latex pieces can only be used once. So I mean, 3 a.m. or whatever, they're doing that every day.
Wow.
And it goes on to add in the book, there was like a team of like 25 people doing this. This wasn't just them. I mean, but you think about it, think of the film, like think of the scene, the shootout. How many people have got prosthetics or the table scene? You're
right, exactly. Yeah, how long that would have taken them all to do just to shoot that one scene.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just so, I mean, the only thing I can think of that's probably more time consuming is stop motion, maybe. But in terms of
but at least with stop motion, everyone can stop and have a break for a minute. But with that,
That's right.
it's like someone's like, I'm going to go for lunch. It's like, but I haven't finished yet. He's like, well, I'm hungry. So
Yeah.
you can't. You just got to do it.
Well, like it says here, at times they had as many as 25 people working as artists and lab technicians, including some of the top young makeup experts in the business, such as V. Neal, who won an Oscar for her work on Beetlejuice, Kevin Haney, and Craig Riordan. So,
Wow.
the woman from Beetlejuice was there, involved in that. I guess there's a limited amount of makeup artists in Hollywood, so they're going to cross paths, aren't they?
Yeah, but I think they say he's like probably a little bit of a community. Like when I was reading about the guy that trained them, Dick Smith, and apparently he was really renowned for sharing his skill set. Whereas, probably like many other industries, people are like, oh, it's my information. Why would I give it away? I'll lose a job. But he was very much open to wanting to train more people and show them all how to do it. So maybe the makeup world is a bit more like that.
Well, and funny you should mention Dick Smith again, because Caglione wrote to Dick Smith. And he says, I went to his house to meet him and I was raving about his Linda Blair makeup, going, yeah, that's great. She was so scary. And he asked what I thought of Father Merrin, the old priest. I said, well, he was a nice old guy. And he said the whole thing was a rubber makeup. Here, let me show you. And he started pulling out these pieces from the film. They then kept in touch. And with a recommendation from Smith, Caglione got a staff job at NBC in New York at the age of 18 and was soon concocting cone heads and killer bees for Saturday Night Live. The rest, as film historians will someday say, is makeup history. So Dick Smith gave him his job, invited him to his house, showed him the masks from The Exorcist. I mean, this guy sounds incredible, doesn't he? What a nice guy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's how he got his start. I don't know how Drexler got his start there. I assume a similar process. I don't know if you came across that in your notes.
No, I didn't. No, I did try to find out where Doug kind of came from as well, but I didn't. It seemed to just be more about kind of John and where he was. So
yeah, I think they obviously crossed paths alongside Dick Smith, and then they got this job on Dick Tracy off the back of another film they were doing. I think someone recommended them because they were really impressed with them. I think they'd done The Hunger.
Okay, yes, I think I did see that in the list.
And I'm looking through this book here, Amityville 2.
Yeah.
The Cotton Club, I think, was one project they worked on, which then led on to Dick Tracy. They'd made a name for themselves in the East, but in Hollywood they were still neophytes, and they were nervous about meeting Beatty for the first time.
Wow.
So, these two guys went from a few projects in the 80s to Dick Tracy to consistent work on Star Trek and horror films and everything else.
TV shows, and every Pacino film going after that. And you're right. So it really was their springboard, and walked away with Oscars. It's like they literally hit the jackpot.
Oscars, literally. The amount of people that must have been competing for this makeup job, Yeah. And I'm just looking at some pictures here of Steve the Tramp in this book, and there's some sketches and faces and stuff. Again, we can share, but Steve the Tramp, what an epic! He reminds me a little bit of the Labyrinth, the Hoggle, or
the little dwarf, isn't it?
Yeah. He's got that kind of like, because that's an actor, isn't it, in there somewhere?
Yeah. That's Jim Henderson, isn't it? Who does?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, they're obviously know what they're doing with puppets. Yeah, but something about Steve the Tramp has that kind of face. When you over exaggerate the nose and the chin and those features. Yeah, but it looks like they were instrumental in creating Steve the Tramp. That's not Warren Beatty. They've come up with that.
He's like we said. They've come up with the characters, and he's made them fit into his story that he wants to tell. And again, a great kind of chemistry for making it work. And the only one I can think that kind of compares with that in filming terms was like Jackie Chan, where he'd do all the fight scenes or decide what fight scene he wanted. Then he'd create a film around the fight scenes.
Yeah. That's it. It's that like make the film work on your idea. Come up with the idea first. No, absolute geniuses. And do you think Dick Tracy would work without everyone in prosthetics and makeup? I may have asked you that before, but I just can't see it working. I don't know.
No, I think in its form, I think if you'd taken the prosthetics away it would have become a very different movie. And if he wanted to make it like an R-rated, 15, 18 film and make it more gritty, then that's probably the road they would have gone down. But it would have dumbed it down so much because everyone would just be so, I'd say, normal. It wouldn't having these real caricatures in there with all this makeup is what makes it, and that's what they are like in the testicled comics.
Yeah, hideous freaks.
Yeah.
More so than Littleface. I was trying to research the Littleface process, but there is some ridiculous pictures of Littleface in the chair, which are likely online. The poor guy.
Because wasn't it as well that the guy that is Littleface, he wasn't even an actor, he wasn't a stuntman or anything. He was just a movie producer. I think his name was like Larry something.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was like, it was like a friend of Warren's or something. And they went out for a coffee and he's like, "Hey, do you want to be in my film?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, great, cool, yeah. Who? You're going to be one of the villains, Littleface." Oh, amazing. Then rocks up to set. Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's it. I think the Littleface thing, they were trying to get the perspective right, weren't they? Trying to make the head larger, but like the face smaller. Because is he meant to have a big head, or is it meant to be that he's got a small face?
No. So it's
Which
meant
one
to
is
be
it?
the small.
Is it a bit of both?
Yeah. But I think that's the thing. Was it forced perspective? I think is that the word for it?
Yeah, like in Lord of the Rings with the
yeah.
hobbits.
So having a really big head with a real face inside it, but then scale all the other things around it according to the size of their face. But yeah, it doesn't. In the film, it just looks like he has a giant head. And so I was thought it was more like ironic that it's like, they call him Littleface because his head's so big. Is it like as a joke?
Yeah.
And that's how I always interpreted it. Is it kind of being a joke the other way around?
I've got to read you this bit about Al Pacino.
Yeah.
But it says, when Pacino arrived the morning of a shooting day for his big boy makeup, Caglione and Drexler witnessed an amazing transformation. It was really funny because he'd come in as Al and sit down in the chair and we'd start putting the makeup on. He would doze off in the chair and always at the same point, just as we were putting the first colour of the appliances, he'd wake up a little bit and just kind of roll his eyes towards the ceiling and smack his lips a little bit, then doze back. But once the makeup was finished, he'd wake up again completely disorientated. It was like Al's conscience had been lifted out of his head and Big Boy had been put in there. He didn't know where he was. He didn't know who we were. He'd be like, as Big Boy, "Who are you guys? What's going on?" He was Big Boy for the rest of the day. Always crazy, always nutty, and always offered you walnuts.
Oh, amazing. Oh no, there must be some amazing behind the scenes footage of all of that somewhere.
I just hope that's true. Like he just goes to the chat, "Morning guys, yeah, Al Pacino's here, morning." And then as he's in the chair, he just slowly starts getting twitchy and
yeah. Oh, So he basically method acted it then, didn't he?
He did. Well, that's why he was Oscar nominated.
Yeah.
For that thing. I think the only other people mentioned in this book.
Yeah.
This book is like our Bible, isn't it? I'm always reading from this book. We'll run out of pages eventually, but they talk about mumbles in this book.
Okay.
And they don't use the words or refer to him as Dustin Hoffman. They say the actor, and they just keep saying the actor who played Mumbles, the actor. And then there's a
weird.
picture with unknown actor.
How
weird.
Peculiar.
Was the Mumbles thing at the time not announced? Was it uncredited? Is he credited?
Yeah, no.
I've got myself doubting it now. But is it?
Yeah,
is he? Are you not? Meant to know?
I'm sure he's in the opening credits. Unless what it was is that they had a different actor, and they'd already started doing it, and then obviously last minute managed to get Dustin Hoffman, and so changed it. But if this, book had already started going into motion, they just changed it because they didn't know who it was going to be. But yeah, it's a bit weird to have such a big name and to not actually refer to him.
Yeah, but he's mentioned and how much they enjoyed working with him. And they had 5 days.
What makeup in my head? He didn't have an enormous amount of makeup, did he?
He is made up, isn't he? Because
he is, but it doesn't seem quite as over the top.
Well, it says here he had these lips that were twisted over to one side, and he had a brow had brow covers and a bald scalp and a blonde wig. So
Okay.
he definitely is made up. He definitely, in your head you might be picturing Dustin Hoffman, but
yeah, it's true.
But yeah, just a final comment really in this book, or two final comments actually. It says, so to safeguard the makeup's payload of illusion, Storaro built a special lighting device so that Caglione and Drexler could test the colours of their paint palette. We tweaked our colours, Vittorio tweaked his lighting a little bit, and that was it. So Vittorio was the cinematographer,
He's
wasn't he?
the cinematographer, yeah.
So he's working with them, with the makeup, to get the lighting right, and the colours.
Wow.
Also working with the costumes. I mean, this is next level filmmaking. Yeah. This is today. You'd put a filter on editing. You just give it a filter, a green tint or something. But they're literally doing it all in camera.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's like kind of completely analog, isn't it? You've got to do the makeup. You've got to light it correctly, shoot it on film, use the right stock.
Yeah,
and
this is it. We tweaked our colours, and he tweaked the lighting. So
wow.
They're making it in the moment. I mean, it just makes you excited for watching the film again, doesn't it? Just to see.
It does. Yeah, every time.
Every time we talk about it, we're just excited to watch it.
We've got to go again.
But no, the final thing I just want to say about this is this final line in this book. The very final. It's actually the very final line in the whole book. There's nothing else after this line.
Yeah.
And it says, it's one of them talking, and it says, I'm saying to myself, what am I doing here? What's going on? But they made us feel very comfortable. We had a lot of great allies. We miss it. We can't wait for the sequel.
Oh.
There is.
Oh, you're preaching to the converted there, guys.
They were ready to do the sequel. They were probably drafting in, other actors. Robert De Niro was probably getting ready to play a part,
Yeah. Jack Nicholson was coming in.
He was. Actually, Jack Nicholson in this film would work. I can see that.
Yeah.
He would be good as perhaps the James Caan character.
Yep.
So, okay, top three. Who's in your top three makeup faces in the film Dick Tracy? Who would you pick in your top ones?
Oh wow. I think Steve the Tramp is in there.
He's in mine.
I think
I was going to say Steve. Yeah.
Again, it might be partly because his reveal is that head turn, and it's quite jarring. I mean, it really really sticks in my head. And he's pretty scary looking. He's good. Flat Top is another one I really like. Just because, again, I've probably done a similar thing and just been quite. He's really villainous, and he is kind of scary, even though it seems so ridiculous. I think one of the things on him, I don't know if we've discussed it before, how they did his top, his bow type super tight, just to over accentuate.
Yeah, we discussed that on our costumes episode, didn't we? Yeah.
So the kind of costumes, again, working in tandem with the makeup, do things. So he's definitely in there. And then I think after that, it's probably James Caan's nose. His nose is second to none.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's just Spaldoni, I think it is.
Yeah, Spud Spaldoni. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. How about you?
I mean, Tess, Dick Tracy, and Pat, probably the three that No, I think Steve the Tramp's in there definitely.
Yeah.
Big Boy, of course. That goes without saying. I mean, I always want to give a shout out to 88 Keys as well, because I think the makeup's subtle.
Yeah, he wasn't even bald.
I know, but there's something sweaty or pale about him, isn't it? Sometimes I like that subtleness in the film when you get a side character that all he's got to do is play a piano, but let's make him look weird.
Yeah.
No, but Lips as well. Lips Manless is obviously.
Again, like I say with Lips, he that whole bottom half was all prosthetics, but it all merges so well. It doesn't look like it doesn't fit.
I want to know what the young, handsome Lips look like. That Breathless fell for.
Yeah, exactly. Before he was a Zeppelin.
That could be the prequel, Lips the early years. Yeah.
Like the other thing as well, it's made me think. I mentioned it on a previous episode, but I did kind of have a little look into it. That is it only villains that actually have any degree of prosthetics on, and I think it is.
I think Sam Catcham has a little bit, doesn't he? He's made up a
Well,
little bit.
well, you said that, but I don't know. I don't think he is. But there was a scene. There was a bit of a giveaway which Lips should have picked up on. So when he gets arrested, and the police come in, and he thinks it is genuinely the policeman that comes in, he looks like a kind of a cross between Prune Face and Influence.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
And so it's like, well, he's clearly a villain. He's clearly not a cop, is he? So again, I think you were meant to pick that up yourself to realise, he's being done here. But, more fool Lips for not realising that there's no way a cop would look like that.
You've got me doubting it now. Was it Prune Face or Influence? Which one was it?
I
thought it was one of them, wasn't it? I'd have to rewatch it back.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it. We'll probably put something up on it. But I would have said, well, the thing is, I know at that point in time, Influence I don't think had joined them because he's at the table with everyone else. It's he's like a completely separate character who was just created. So one of his hoods who was there just to pretend to be a police officer to arrest Lips. But but I think if you look at the only other ones is there's one of the reporters when Dick Tracy comes out of the theatre, I think, and they're saying to him, "Oh, you're going to quit? You're going to take your desk job?" And he's got a massive, big, prosthetic nose. So he's the nearest to a non-villain that has prosthetics, as far as I could work out.
I just had a thought. You know who would have been perfect in this film? And we'll probably do an episode on casting wives. But Robert Davi from License to Kill with the heavily pocked, cheeks.
Yeah.
He would have been perfect in Dick Tracy. I just think.
He would have saved him some money.
Yeah, he would have done. But no, he's someone with a good distinctive face. And Danny Trejo. I don't think Danny Trejo was around at that time. Probably in prison still.
Yeah,
at that
probably
point.
Was.
But some of those character actors, you could see if they were making this today, they'd be pulling out all the stops and getting some of those people in.
But again, that's what. Again, I've said a Sergio Leone reference before to the opening scene, but Sergio Leone, a lot of his extras he had in his film, he would just go and just pick people off the street and who just looked interesting and looked kind of captivating. They weren't even actors.
Yeah.
And again, this type of thing, having and now you can build a character who holds the screen and captivates you. Yeah. And it's like a kind of it's something you kind of not really thinking about at the time, but that's what it is those prosthetics and the way they've created them, it draws you in, it grabs your attention.
Yeah. I'd forgotten about the reporter though. That's interesting you bring that guy up. I just forgot about that. But you're right, that weird reporter, as kids, we always used to kind of spot that guy, didn't we?
Yeah, and I think he has one line. I don't know if he might appear again when Big Boy comes out of the police station. He's coming down the steps.
Yeah. And we haven't mentioned it. We were talking for a while, but I mentioned the blank. Obviously, he kind of dismissed the blank because it's just a blank face. But actually, in that video we mentioned earlier with Caglione, he pulls out the original blank mask, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, which I guess it's more of a mask than makeup. But that character as well, they've obviously thought about that and the lighting and getting the look of it right. Because that's quite scary as a kid, seeing someone without a face.
Yeah, definitely.
It's quite a scary concept, isn't it? Because they're still speaking, but they don't have a mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know how much these guys had involved in the blank, but as he pulls out the mask in that video, obviously they had something to do with it because he's still got the mask.
Yeah, he would have done it. Yeah, and he wondered where all this stuff is. Obviously, he pulls out some bits of Big Boy's prosthetics. He pulls out the head for Little Face. It's just amazing. He's got all this stuff after 30 years, and it's how much more? And please, can you do a touring museum of it all so we can come and see it?
Well, in fact, come on the show. We'd like to have you on it. Come talk to us about your makeup. We would love that, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on makeup then? I think before we draw to a close, is there anything else we've kind of missed?
I don't think so. I did a little closing thought thing, which I'll say kind of anyway.
Yeah.
Saying Dick Tracy isn't just a movie with great makeup. It's one of the clearest examples of makeup being used as visual storytelling. not just disguise. The characters are drawn first in latex, then performed through making the makeup as important as the script, the costumes, or the sets. And that's why when people remember Dick Tracy, they remember the faces.
Nice. I like it. And it made me think, actually, saying that another film that did makeup and used it to its effect really well was Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes is another classic example. That might have been Dick Smith. We have to check who did that. But
Yeah.
That came to mind then when you were talking about, because you can't picture that film without the prosthetics.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you had any Dick Tracy purchases this week before we go? Is there anything that's been coming through your mailbox, James?
So there is. If you remember back on the episode 2, the first part 1 of the figures, when I got my big boy out, I said unfortunately his bubble had come away from the card, and so obviously I've got a completely carded set. I was like, yeah, that cannot go amiss. So I decided to treat myself and forked out for a nice brand new,
look at
unpunched big boy.
Unpunched,
yeah, unpunched.
Is it Bandai or is it?
It is the Bandai. So
Throw in the bin. Straight in the bin.
It just means we're going to have a set of both now. But so I'm back to having my full carded collection again. So
nice.
Yeah, that was my purchase of the week.
Good. And I think we need to do an episode soon on the applause toys, don't we? I think that's definitely in the pipeline. I haven't made a purchase, but I will have something by next week. And also, as mentioned in the previous episode, I've got 2 days left on my Madonna Dick Tracy 10-inch LP picture disc on eBay.
Yeah.
That currently has one bid at £10.79.
Yeah.
So we're going to find out in 2 days.
Fingers crossed.
I'm going to win that. I don't know how high I'm going to go. How high should I go? I don't know.
Oh, it's got to be at least £300 or £400.
Well, this is part of the problem with Dick Tracy merchandise. The values are all over the place. No one knows what to charge, do they?
Yeah, you're right. There's bargains out there to be had. This could be one of them.
But by next week, I've got a couple of things coming in the post. So I'll save it for then. Well, that's it. Thank you for listening to Talking Dick, the Dick Tracy movie podcast. Don't have nightmares thinking about me with the prosthetic nose.
Yeah. I will.
Yeah, you will. But yes, until next time, keep talking Dick.
Cheers. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to get in touch, you can email us at dtmoviepodcast@gmail.com. You'll also find us on X and Instagram at dtmoviepodcast. Or come and join our Facebook group, the Dick Tracy Movie Podcast. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel for bonus videos and extra content.